So the water will raise up, and you'll see the rod on the left, which is kind of medium length. As the water hits that, it will detect it, and there's a little system which we'll show you downstairs later. And as it hits the top level, that will be the upper limit, which it will shut off. So you can see the watermark around the tank where
long one there at the bottom, middle length there, and then the top one there.
That's right. So, but you can see the water level where it's bouncing between each level.
What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, the life of a jobbing plumber. You might tell from my voice I'm a little bit under the weather, and it might be due to the job that I'm going to show you this week. So you might remember earlier in the year myself and Glenn did a really interesting job. We fitted a boost set in a sort of outbuilding in the middle of two fields when it was freezing cold. We've been back there to do more work there over the last 3 days when it was like -2. Thursday wasn't too bad, but the Wednesday and the Thursday it was really cold. So I got the sniffles, but yeah, it should be a really interesting job. It was a really interesting job for me because I don't normally do work like this. It's always nice to work with Glenn. So that's what this job is going to be. It might be a two-parter because when I was looking at the raw footage I've got, it was over 1 hour and 20 minutes long. So some of that will get edited out, but yeah, it might be a two-parter. So if it is, this is part one. As always, sponsored by Power Toolmate and Velocity Pro Gear tool bags. I'll link both of their sites in the description of the video. Power Toolmate, if you're looking for any power tools, they do the best prices, especially if you're after Milwaukee gear, pack out, stuff like that. And obviously Velocity Pro Gear tool bags, they've got a great range of tool bags, including my range, so check them out. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably see you in part two. Cheers guys. Walking through a field. This can only mean one thing. I'm working with Glenn. I'm getting flashbacks to, did we come in January or something?
I think it was earlier on this year, wasn't it?
The ground last time was frozen though.
Frozen, yeah.
Working in the fucking treehouse of horrors.
The ground will be frozen tomorrow though.
Yeah, it's going to be -2 tomorrow, so nice of him to pick a nice cold time of year. We could have done this in the summer. If you're not sure where we are, you remember did a 3-part video where we did some work in this shed, and then we had quite a few underground leaks. We were digging the field up for a few days. Morning boys. Here it is. This place gave me nightmares for 3 days. Remember, this is what we did last time we were here. So what's the job?
Right, so this tank here and that one there are both leaking, as we can see here. In fact, that one's decommissioned currently. That one is definitely leaking, and it's cracked. It's awful, it's horrible. So we're going to take these two out and replace with one singular one.
How the fuck are we going to get these out? They're massive. Got a torch up there. Look at the size of that. Oh, look at them big spideys and a wasp nest. Oh, nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. How are we going to get them out? I think recip saw each corner.
This is going to be fun. I might just set the camera up and leave it rolling. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So they're about, what would you say they are? About 4 foot by 6 foot.
Yeah.
And then about, again, about probably 5 foot high.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. So currently, no idea how we're going to get these out because there's only 2 of us here. I reckon they would have got them in on a crane, lowered them in and then put the roof on.
No, because that roof...
That's a flat roof above there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's original concrete. So these would have slid in, I think.
Bloody hell. Maybe maybe a forklift. And we're going to replace it with a more modern one like this one. So for today, what we're going to do, because this one's still live, we've got to cut that one off. And then these two feeds, one does the farm shop, one does, what does the other one do? Toilets. Connect those two onto the new side. And then make a plan. We've got 3 days booked on this, so make a plan on how to get these out. You can see where it's dripping, that one. First job, so I've isolated this tank and isolated where it goes down because they're linked in. So if we didn't isolate it here, this one would be live and would come out because we're going to cut a T into this now. T on that, isolation valve, and then a length across to T into here, so that we can, when we decommission these two, we can get supply from this one above. So that's shut, that's shut. Open the overflow pipe or the drain valve, that's just terminating outside. You can see those there, just comes out of there if you need to drain the tanks. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So I've basically just cut my T in there, and I've got that isolation valve on these unions, so if we've got to work on it, you can split it, because obviously where it's glued you don't get any play once you fit these, so it takes a little while to go off. And while we're doing that, we're running the new piece along the wall. Glenn's going to connect it onto there, and we're just going to put some 45s to get us in front of this. It's about lunchtime, isn't it, mate?
About there, mate.
And then once that's all up and running, then we can, at the minute we're isolated, so the tank above's isolated. Once that's connected, so we know that we're sending water to the toilets, we can start draining this and then thinking about how we're going to get the fucker out. So we've isolated that, hopefully it's turned off, there's no way of knowing. We're just going to cut a tiny little nick in the pipe, which is going to spray out, and then we should just get the level of water there and it'll stop. If it's not turned off.
No, if that was on now, with the height of that,
Yeah.
we'd be spraying.
I'll update you. So that's just stopped. So we know now that this is off. We have got a full tank above us. So glad it did. So I'm going to cut that, get this on and glued. The sooner we do that better, because this takes about the glue takes 4 hours to go fully off. So get that on there, 45s into there, and we'll nip and have some lunch while that's drying, and then we'll turn the water back on. It's we can put the water on, it's just, it gets to its full strength for 4 hours, so the longer we leave it the better, really.
Like one of them games.
So we've got this, what do you reckon is in here, how many gallons? It's fucking
I'd say 2,000 litres.
2,000 litres, right? And they've not put a drain off on it, so we can't drain it. So what we've had to do is put an elbow on here, so when I open this valve, obviously it's going to empty the tank above. And through here, supported by this ladder, down here, supported by this piece of twig, and then it goes out, and then we've got a grate there that just goes to outside. So we're going to send all the water outside. That'll be into the sort of, into the trees around the back here. So hopefully it works. Bit Heath Robinson, but sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. Do you want the honours of turning it on? So we've got 32mm MDPE main, comes along the wall there. We're going to put a valve in there because there's no isolation currently, and that goes up and fills these two storage systems. Now, where it gets its water from is a well outside,
Well, I know.
and there's a sump pump in the well, and there's power. If you see this cable here, it goes along into that box there and down. Back up to the power here, so you see we've got pump supply. So we're going to turn that off, so the pump's not going to be pumping any fresh water up, and then hopefully when we cut that, it won't be too much pissing out. Do you want me to get the fittings ready? Let me get the fittings ready so we can bang it on if it's... Right, I'll just on the camera here. gold. It all goes wrong. Don't do it yet, don't do it yet, don't do it yet. Get the camera.
You roll it?
Yeah. There we go, there we go. Wait. Right, let me get the fitting. Right, you go on this side. Just if the shit hits the fan. Oh, it's got a cap in it. Is it right? Okay. Well, that was easy.
What? It's dry. Ooh. Okay. How?
Right.
Well,
No need for
that was severely underwhelming.
yeah, I thought it was going to piss water out and be a really good video, but it's not. So just going to install this onto here. Got a couple of O-rings captive in the fitting, and then that'll push on there, and that'll push on there. Let's get the side on just to show you. Oh,
Just testing.
just testing you.
How did I get that in then?
So, yeah, that's it. These are the rings. Flip that round.
Oh, such juice there.
Maybe put it to me because I'm on the live side.
There we go, it's about halfway, I think. Is that open?
Okay. Power back on. Cool.
Maybe no supply because the float is up high.
Alright, that's open now. None of these are glued, by the way, but just because we don't want to waste the pipe. They're just pushed in temporary. But if we look outside, it's now draining the contents of that tank. So we're going to have some lunch while that's draining out, because obviously it's going to take a little while. I've just cracked it a bit more. What we don't want to do is it's push that elbow off and flood the place. And it's a bit temperamental because we're not supported. But it's coming out a bit better now. Considering it's pumped out of a well and in that nasty old tank, I'm not going to drink any. Only just the toilets and the garden centre, watering the plants and stuff. But bit clear. Got a bit cocky now, and I've just opened it full bore. I'm just relying on this stick. Because we're now draining the water content, the float valve's going to have gone down. We've got the power back on, which feeds the sump pump. So now if I open this valve, you can hear that pump starting to pump water back in. Right, we're going full whack now. So that's a 20 litre bag. We're going to see, is it 20 litres? Yeah, 20 litres. So we're currently draining at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 litres every 8 seconds.
Probably more, actually.
Do the maths, someone do the maths. We've got 2,000 litres, how long is it going to take us to drain it? 20 litres every 8 seconds. As we're in December now, hopefully you've got your tree up. I absolutely love Christmas, and that's because when I was growing up, my gran like made Christmas amazing for us, so that's why I love it so much. But if you are like me, typical guy, impossible to buy for, and you like Christmas, you can get this Nipex giant bauble for your tree, and inside it, I'll just pop that off, is that cool mini pair of cobras. So if you're watching this and your other half's watching this and she wants or he wants an idea for a present for you, these are pretty cool. They've got them on offer at Tool Monster at the minute, 22 quid. That's for the bauble and for the pair of Nipex inside. The old mini. That wasn't easy. There you go. Really nice they are. Yeah, 22 quid. Tool Monster. I'll put the link in the description, and I think if you use the link you get an extra certain percentage off because it's my like discount link, and there is a discount code as well, which I'll let you know, but it'll be in the description. We've just got back from lunch and it's all intact, which is good. Nothing's fell apart, and the tank's drained, just stopped running, so should be able to just knock that elbow off. Might have to give it a tap with it.
Well, that's like any longer.
That's it, so.
It's been worried about it before, not I can't even pull it off.
Right, there's one bit off. See the bits off.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's twisted on the tank, that is.
There we go. Lovely. It's fully open. And drain down, so we can connect on where we want it now, and this one's ready for stripping out. Right, so we've just bent that valve out of the way. That elbow is now glued on. Come across there. We've got two 45s, and then into this valve. This water tank we turn back on now because it's been an hour or so while we had lunch. That's all live again. So when we open this up, it's going to send the water through and feed these two supplies now that this one's been decommissioned. Right, that's all connected and glued, so when that's gone off, give it half hour or so, we can open that up, and that'll put the water back onto the toilets and the garden centre so they can water the plants if they need to tonight. Tank time?
Then it's this.
Right, so it's -2 this morning. Bought some heaters. I don't think you can buy these anymore, but I bought these about 6-7 years ago. And they're awesome, little Honeywell fan heaters. Sometimes I give them out on jobs if the boiler's broke. But, and you'll have seen this on my YouTube before, Festool Sustainer, so it's like a sustainer box. Inside it you get 10 meters of extension lead, so plug that in, and then you have an internal plug so you can charge stuff inside if it's raining, if you want to be waterproof. But then you get 4 power points on the front, so we've got the 2 heaters in that one, batteries charging, we've even got the kettle in there, nice flat top so you've got a mashing station. And if you've not got one, seriously get one, because I've had that a few years now and I love it, it's brilliant. And because we've got heaters on, it's so warm in it now, people have took the coats off. It's lovely, isn't it?
I'm going to take mine off.
It's getting warm in now. So, yeah, we're starting. We've got the 80 in there today, Billy boy. Starting to rip these out. So, when we've got a plan, we work out how we're going to do it. I'll show you how we're doing it. The other thing we've got to do today is cut this pipe So obviously temporarily yesterday we hooked this up, so we're feeding the toilets and the garden centre. We're now isolating that, and we're going to cut this because there's going to be a T or an L bond there to go up for when we eventually put our new tank in. That will feed that, and that will just become like a you know, what am I trying to say? If we ever need to use the water to feed this, we can, but it's going to actually be fed from a different tank. So spare connection, and then obviously we've got water in this tank we need to drain out as well. So there's plenty to do today. So what we've done so far, I've got the recip saw, and we're basically just going to cut sections of it off that are manageable, that we can get down. Just, can you stick your head in that other tank, Bill, and see how much water's in it?
Over 100 litres, if not more.
Is there?
Yeah.
So we drained this one down yesterday. We've still got to drain the one on the left down as well. So I'll hook something up to drain that out, and you carry on cutting this into bits.
Yeah.
Can you shine lights so they can see in that tank? So this is the one we emptied yesterday. Obviously it's just the sheer size of it. Just chucks that torch. We can't get the whole thing down because there's not room to get it down. We think it came in through the roof and then they put the roof on after. So yeah, I think cutting it into sections is the way we're going to do it, and then the new one is going to come like this one in sections. So we'll actually build it, we'll bring it up section at a time and put it together. But that's what we're doing today.
So that was the old fill on the tank.
What, just
Just
over
that.
the top?
Just that. No ball cup, just that.
Wow.
How... I'm a bit confused how...
So what would stop it?
that's what I'm trying to get my head around. And it wasn't as if that was in the tank high enough to have some sort of siphon of anti-siphon effect, if you like. It wasn't. It was laying down, because you can see how the MDT is bent. That was lying down in the tank like that, so that would be way over its overflow. Unless it's on like a pulse timer or something, I don't know.
That sound Glenn made, Billy, he was flabbergasted.
I don't know.
So when a posh guy just gets flabbergasted.
Starts doing equations in his own head.
Burn a bit outside of it. Still a little bit of water sat at the bottom, which is now dripping on the floor. That's not too bad. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
So it's wood. A bit of fiberglass. What's that, about 3 mil thick?
Through there.
Yeah, that one was easy to cut through because it's rotten. Oh, look how soft it is. I was hitting the other tank though, it's so close together. Oh, another piece out.
That's just split underneath you.
I know.
So just be very, very...
so we've got about half of it out. Glenn's just going to explain this because I've never seen it before.
So those rods are very similar to what you use in swimming pool balance tanks, and I didn't realise it had it on this system. So the water will raise up, and you'll see the rod on the left, which is kind of medium length. As the water hits that, it will detect it, and there's a little system which we'll show you downstairs later. And as it hits the top level, that will be the upper limit, which it will shut off. So you can see the watermark around the tank where
it's one there at the bottom, middle length there, and then the top one there.
That's right. So, but you can see the water level where it's bouncing between each level.
Yeah.
So it's always on that bottom level usually, and then it will fill back up, and that's the absolute upper limit that it will cut out at.
And that goes on a cable down.
Yeah, and there's a little control panel which we'll show you in a bit further down. I didn't realise it had this on this system, but that kind of explains now. I was a bit confused earlier.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, let me go under. This is gonna fucking go. Don't let it go.
Train professionals, guys. Train professionals. Do not copy this at home.
Glenn, this when you have your spot, bro.
That's this foot, boy.
Let me get down there. Glenn, you stay there.
Take it towards you.
Stay there, stay there, stay there.
Bend it down.
Wait, let me get down. Baby, give it to me. Let me give it to you. Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh, there it is. It's off. You got it?
Yep.
Strong. Oh boy. Be strong, boy. Be strong, boys. Fucking steel.
Well, these, what are they?
It's the water level. Veins.
Will you turn them off?
Yeah, you can do it. So. I'm just trying to think, is it worth trying to pull this tank through its knee?
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Hold it. Keep on your eyes. Just watch your eyes.
Yeah.
You got it? Yeah?
Yeah, I got it.
Good boy. Now, I got home.
Right, first tank's down. This sort of, what would you say this is made out of?
It's rubber-matted.
It's fucking a bit rigid for rubber. That was the base, and literally these steels are just balanced on top of the brick. They're not tied in. That's a bastard. So you can see on the side of that one that we've still got to take out, they are 470 gallon capacity. And basically we're just...
I think I've got 200 gallon in my socks.
They're the bits we've cut out. That's the base. So one down, we'll have a coffee break, then we go again. No days off.
Oh, no.
It's rolling.
Right, look what we got in this one then. Absolutely full of snails.
Snails there.
Snail City.
Now set a
Few moss. Scary to think that neither of these tanks had lids. Crazy.
Crazy!
Got it? In short.
Lovely. Trying to get the last dregs out of it, so we drilled a hole in the bottom there, just trying to divert the water to it. You're like a Fortnite character, do a dance. Go on, mate, I'll take you to freedom. You've been living under a tank. Where are you gonna live now? Oh shit!
on the floor, it seems. What is it?
Is he alright?
You've got to lift it, go back to you a bit, and then come this way because you're on this bracket.
Yeah.
Fucking spider staring me in the eye.
Fuck off, lad. I was thinking about moving to Leicester. Fuck off. I feel like for work I'm going to die.
Just hold the weight. Not weight. Fucking hell. It's not the weight I'm worried about, it's all the spiders looking at me. How do I get this out the door? Right, come on, just done it, just. Oh, fucking hell, I need help spinning it. Just. Spin it, spin it to get out the door. Oh, the fucking door's shut. Oh. Fucking hell, come on. So many spiders on this one.
Health and safety!
But how have I ended up down here?
Little status update, we've had lunch now. That's what's left of the tanks. Stack them up on a pallet for the farmers to come and get. And then we're just having a little clear up inside because it got a bit messy. You can see by the bottom of the ladder and by the bottom of Billy's trousers. It got a bit. So we've washed the floor because it was literally inch thick and shit. And now we're just altering this. So isolated that. Obviously the tank above is gone now and this one's gone. And now we're going to connect in there, elbow up. Or no, we're doing a T, aren't we?
Yeah.
T up and then isolation valve
do
Which
that.
then, when we get the new tank in tomorrow, we'll connect into there. Right, that's day 2 down. So we've had a good tidy up. I didn't even know there was blue pavers on the floor. It was so dirty in here, but we've washed it all down. And what we've done is reuse this piece. This isolation valve, gate valve works. So we've opened that up to 1 as a drain point, but 2 we use that to clean the floor. So we've got the new supply in, leave valves off. That's on for the night, so they've still got water to the garden centre and the toilet block. And then we're ready to go tomorrow. So basically the tank's already been delivered. We'll get the farmer to bring it up on the tractor and drop it just the other side of the fence, and then we'll bring it in like this old, the one that's in here. It'll come in sections, and then we'll bolt it together, glue it together. It's going to be a lot smaller than the one that was in. I think it's probably going to come to about here. But yeah, we'll be building that tomorrow, so see you then.